Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world. I am, as always, Alex, and I am joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. As I said in the episode that released the other day, I'm back in Colorado. What I didn't say in the podcast the other day is that I went to Windy City Riot, Windy City Classic. That's the wrong company. Windy City Riot, and it was a great time. And I'm excited to talk a little bit about it on today's show, amongst some other things, because Stardom had a week, kinda. Did they?
Yeah. If you can't see it, does it really exist?
Yeah, I mean, I was excited for Wingory versus Meltier. That never went up.
I bet it is up by the time we record the second part.
Yeah, by the time this uploads, it'll probably be up. But still, I'm not happy that
Yeah, we
you know.
will end up reviewing the match anyway because we're recording across 2 days,
But
and it's
they
going to be
they
really
have
fun.
not they haven't uploaded anything since the 4th.
They've been very slow, and I haven't talked about it, but I think they take like 9 days now to get stuff sometimes, and you're like, that's a lot. That is
That's
more
excessive.
than
Yeah.
even the worst of Rossi and Sunny. Like 9 days was okay. Something's gone wrong here.
Oh my god. Okay. This is very briefly. So many people left the company that they just changed the banner on Stardom World to one banner. You know how it used to be like that sliding banner
Oh yeah,
with all the factions? They just have it as one banner now. And it does not slide. It says it's
really?
supposed to slide, but it doesn't because there's no other picture.
Gotta see this now. So it's on the main page, the home page.
Yeah, yeah. Like you'll notice it.
Oh,
It's just static. And there's literally like a thing that says there's supposed to be more images, but there are not.
oh, it's a nice little video though.
Oh, I didn't wait, there's a video?
The video, yeah.
Oh, and they have the schedule now. Like it's a clickable link. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't see the
Wrestlers, they
video.
have.
That's weird.
Really? It loaded straight away for me, but
On
unless we're on
World?
different. Oh,
Yeah, no,
on
you're on the
World.
website.
Oh,
I was gonna say it's like this is not.
yeah,
I
I
love
haven't
how
been
we
on
don't have
Stardom
much
World
time
in
and we're
forever.
just pontificating about like
It's fine.
website
It's fine.
interfaces.
Well, I said, is it the Stardom website? And you said yes. Stardom website and Stardom World are different.
That's my bad. I thought you said was it Stardom World?
Oh, yeah. That's a really badly.
Yeah,
Graphic
it
design
looks
is my
it looks
passion.
very bad. Yeah,
It's so plastic.
respectfully.
Yeah. Oh, and if you click it, it goes to the schedule. But the schedule doesn't actually tell you anything. It just says to be decided for everything. So not
Yeah.
very useful at that rate. But sure. Okay. We're off to a great start here with Taro. Um anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
Stardom was in America this past week, and we're gonna start there. So any of you American wrestling freaks can get your fill and leave before the cool shit happens. Um So the first Stardom involvement of the week was on AEW Dynamite. Mina Shirakawa made a surprise appearance to save Mariah May from a beatdown from Anna Jay. So that kind of cuts the link between Jay and Mina because Jay had kind of been teased to join Enex's V, but that's not the case anymore.
No. They also kissed.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Nerd Cubed?
No.
YouTube guy.
No.
Very famously, like over a decade ago, in one video game called Bully, you can you play as a male character and you can kiss boys.
I've seen
And
that. I've played
uh,
that.
yeah, a lot of people got upset with him because he was like, "Oh, this is sick. I can kiss dudes." And like a lot of people got upset with him because it was like 2012 and people were homophobic. And so every episode after that, he'd be like, "Isn't it crazy that people got upset about this gay kiss?" And then he just like replays it, like just
Right.
them like the kiss. Um, That's why I was thinking when people kept replaying this, I was like, damn, they they keep going back to this gay kiss, and I think that's very funny. Um,
That was the
but
best way to put it.
yeah,
That is the funniest way to frame this. This gay kiss.
yeah, no, like I mean that's what it was, like respectfully. Um, I
Why
also,
did why didn't
the
you
funny
bring
thing,
this up when Utami and Siri like built their 5.5
yeah,
star
but like
match
this was like
with
a
a
this was a
random?
kiss, brother. Like that was like
That's true.
that was
Mariah
funny and like it was a
Mariah
weird peck
May
thing.
Mariah May really like they didn't offer her more money. They just said, "Listen, you can kiss all of the roster if you want." And she said, "Yeah, let's get it."
Oh, but yeah, I love her for that. But no, it was actually really funny because I saw Mina, and Mina looked tremendous, as she usually does. And I tweeted, I was like, "Wow, Mina looks absolutely beautiful." And then I found out that they like kissed, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't mean it in like a like I didn't want to sound like a perv. Like, no, I just thought she looked pretty. Damn." And that was what happened out of that.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Good. Salvage his reputation here.
yeah, it was rough. But yeah, that was a thing. I don't know what they're
Mhm.
doing, and we'll talk about that with Collision.
Isn't it a
I
love triangle of sorts?
Yes,
But
but
Anna has
Mina's
to
not
be
gonna be around
involved.
for, like, 2 months, and Anna is around, I guess.
Yeah. For some reason, I have to keep giving Anna J things to do. Um,
Yeah,
that sounds mean. You probably should use your roster. Um,
I agree.
but yeah, she definitely is like a weird part of this other story. And maybe it's just forcing it so she can team with Azumi
You
sometime.
know what's a really cool call that I thought the
What?
second that I saw the, Rampage promo, which do you wanna get into now?
Yeah, I think it's
Since
all
I
about
didn't get
Dynamite. Unless
Yeah,
did Mina get a
that's, "This gay
Mina
kiss."
didn't get
My
much
bad.
of a reaction, which was kind of not
No,
great. I don't know if the crowd was good. I don't watch the show anymore, but
that crowd was really bad, actually. I did
okay, well that's fair.
hear about that. The crowds the past couple weeks have been pretty dog shit, actually, for
I
AEW.
see.
But yeah, then Rampage, Anna Jay's like, what did she say? I don't remember. Do you have
You're
any?
meant to carry this one. I
Okay, no, because I was gonna make a joke that she's like, man, these motherfuckers need to stop kissing each other. This is supposed to be serious. Um, which is basically what she said, but I'm
okay.
sure she said more. And then Azumi's like, hey, Mina's stupid, Mariah May's stupid, but Tony Storm, number one stupid. And then
Oh
AJ's
yeah.
like, "I agree." And then they did like a little pose, and then that was that. So Queen's Quest has a new Chardonnay.
Ooh, that's nasty. Chardonnay.
I've been
Wow.
cooking that one since the second I saw that
Wow.
promo. They got a new
Wow.
Chardonnay.
Chardonnay. That's crazy. That is crazy.
It's a callback.
Um,
That's an old head reference. That's peak
remember
mid
Queen's
white
Quest
woman
UK?
era.
Remember Queen's
Yeah,
Quest UK? The
when
little
Viper
trio?
was the only good one,
Yeah.
and Viper was like, she didn't really. She's kind of checked out for a bit.
Yeah. What a weird company Stardom used to be. Um, yeah, that was that. So Anna J went from being paired up with Bina, which felt natural because you're like, yeah, Anna J and eNexus V as an affiliate kind of works. Now she's affiliated with Queen's Quest, kind of, which is less of a fit, but also Queen's Quest is very
Doesn't
aimless
really
without Utami.
exist right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, sure, let's try it. And I guess her whole thing is she's like, isn't her move called the Queen's something, or is that her nickname?
She's
Can't
the Queen
remember.
Slayer.
Queen Slayer. Okay, yeah, you
Because
can't
she
really.
beat Brandy Rhodes, if you wanna get real deep into it.
Right. Yes. Yes. Remember. Brandy had the faction with Awesome Kong, and
Yes.
some like
Oh,
shimmer
what was her
mid
name?
Carter who had never been on
Mel.
TV.
Was it Mel?
Mel.
Yeah.
Mel. Yeah. We've come a long
She did
way, to
yeah,
say the least.
yeah.
um. But yeah, that was a big change in the Stardom AW thing with Anna not being on Mina's side anymore and fully kind of going towards Azumi. You'd imagine they'll do a tag match involving some of those people eventually. I don't know when.
Which, like,
Uh,
that doesn't make sense, by the way. Like, just, like, from
no,
any, like, any perspective, it doesn't fit. Like I said, unless she's the Chardonnay, like that's like a serious like is that what she's meant to be? Because like otherwise it's like I don't.
I don't
She
know.
doesn't
Her and
fit in
Azumi are
Japan.
just good buds.
I don't
They're
think her
haters.
and Azumi like. Yeah, I guess there's haters,
Yeah.
which I
That's
kind
it.
of
It was like
respect.
we don't like them. That's it, and I respect it.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know where they would even do a match. That's the issue with like trying to dive into what's happening is, there's talks from Body Slam that Azumi is meant to be on Forbidden Door, but that's in June. I don't know if you're gonna wait till June to do a tag match, and
that's the
I don't know if
struggle.
Stardom is gonna give it time to brew on
No,
their shows. Like, is Anna and Mariah gonna go to Japan for a tag and
no.
miss TV? Like, especially with Mariah being such a big part of Tony's thing, doesn't make
See,
a whole lot of sense.
that's the thing that I believe I got back to my Ring Post Radio listening this past week. And that's the thing that
Nice.
they kind of brought up is that like this Thunder Rosa Tony Storm thing is like the least interesting thing amongst the title holder and her story. Because Tony Storm and I see it because Tony Storm's the least interesting part of Mariah May, Anna Jay, and the
Yeah,
Stardom involvement. Like, okay, Tony's also here doing her gimmick that doesn't really make much sense in this context. Um, like so that's where I'm at is that it's like, okay, so you can't do it at Dynasty. Maybe Double or Nothing, they pull someone out to do something. Like I don't think May is that heavy of a month, late May for Stardom. They could probably have Azumi and Mina miss, but I don't know. I think that it would probably be more difficult than useful. Um, I don't know. Like I feel like to pay all this off in 2 months feels like a bad idea because like I don't know, Azumi will get a good match out of someone. Like and Azumi will get a good tag match, I'm sure, if they run that, but it's like w- why did you start this when you can't really finish it? I don't really know.
yeah. I mean, it's better than not giving them anything to do.
Mm,
But it's definitely gonna leave a few people in limbo where Anna Jay is going to be without her teammate of sorts, and I guess is still feuding with Mariah May, maybe.
perhaps.
Um,
Maybe they
perhaps.
just maybe they just like slip Diana Perrazzo in as the Azumi, which is
Eh, but then you have another person,
yes.
another body in this like weird thing that you
But
can't
that's kind of
pay
what
off.
AEW just does, especially with their women's
Yeah,
division. It's just like, okay, well, here's a new, like, I don't know, just put her instead of her, and then we're good for the week. So,
yeah, I guess. But that was the Friday.
mhm,
On Rampage, which was a surprise because they didn't advertise Azumi. She just showed up in a pre-tape.
yeah,
Um, and Azumi was announced though for Saturday on Collision, where she faced Tony Storm. This wasn't like an eliminator match or anything. It was just
no, it
Tony
was,
getting a win. Was it?
yeah,
Oh right, okay. So it was Tony doing eliminator to build up to her Thunder Rosa defense. As far as I'm aware, nobody has ever won any of these eliminators. So
once someone
once,
cheated, I want to
of
say,
course,
might have
okay.
been like the bunny. I think it was. I think the bunny
Mm,
cheated to win an eliminator
yeah,
match and then lost the actual match.
that's incredible.
Which is kind
Um,
of what like I expected. I was like, oh, Azumi might like get a roll up here if there's
no,
a bunch of bullshit
no,
because Anna Jay was there, Mariah was there, Thunder Rosa is around. Like I was like, oh, maybe like this all kind of goes up in flames and they have a reason to bring Azumi back. No, no,
no. But she did bring a really good match out of Tony Storm.
yeah, it was solid.
Probably the
I watched on the
best.
plane.
This is probably the best match Tony Storm has had under this timeless gimmick. 'Cause, I mean, she
This
had
and
the
the Red Velvet one, which was also an eliminator, are the only two ones that I've said were like actually not bad wrestling matches.
I have always said that Red Velvet is just as good as Azumi. That
I
is that
don't
is
I don't
definitely
know if
true.
I fully agree with that one. She's
Yeah,
tremendous, but
Red Velvet cool. Red Velvet's cool.
Red Velvet's great. Yeah.
Um, But yeah, I think what was notable though is that Azumi very much got over with the audience.
Mhm.
They didn't know her to begin. They kind of like were polite, but definitely weren't super into her. But as the match progressed, she got chants and everything. They were doing dueling chants between her and the world champion, which I think speaks very highly of Azumi and her ability to win people over.
Yeah. She did do a great job in this match. Like quite frankly, it I think here it really showed off like kind of her early on she kind of got to go back to like her brat type of gimmick where she was
Mm,
just like, man, fuck you, I'm gonna just step on your foot and make you chase me. You know what I mean? Like I think that kind of helped get like the ball rolling. And then over time I do think that Azumi's just great and she hits hard and she kicks hard and she has cool moves. Even Shivani and Menard, who I like them a lot as personalities. Shivani is a bit weaker when he has to do like the heavy lifting in commentary, which he had to do here. Just them being kind of amazed by everything Azumi did was like a cool. Like you know what I mean, it was a cool additive to this match because they were like, I've never seen that shit before when she did the cross-legged C4 bomb thing and stuff like that. The Azumi sushi too. They were like, "What the fuck was that?" Like I appreciated that. It all just felt like it was Azumi made the most of the opportunity, and I was
mhm.
very happy about it. And
Yeah.
Tony was also not, she was still doing the gimmick, which
Mhm.
kind of soured certain parts of the match more than it would have if she wasn't doing the gimmick. But I thought generally she didn't do too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Tony didn't do a lot, which is probably why it was so
No,
good.
yeah,
It was very Azumi heavy. And so the timeless character didn't really have a chance to breathe as much, which is always for the best. Um, but I do find that Azumi translated really well. Her years as a very expressive character really came out here with
mm,
like her when you say she did the stomp and stuff and she laughed and like played that to the audience and got the audience into it. That's the sort of stuff that she was doing for years, kind of with the Natsu feud and stuff like that. And she's
yeah,
just taken that and immediately put it into this context, which is impressive. Because you're going from Shinkiba first to an arena, um, but she still managed to play to the entire audience. And I think that was what separated her from a lot of the Joshi we've seen in AEW.
yes. It reminded me a lot of It reminded me a lot of Riho. I think that's why she kinda got over so much, is just because I think Riho's really great at being, like, physically expressive that, like, for example, Sheeta isn't as much. Like, that's just frankly.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that Azumi just did a great job. I think she did better than Riho does on some nights, at just having that, like, that aura, I hate to say it, but you know what I mean, just like having that presentation that really fit the vibe. And yeah, I was super happy with the match. I watched on the plane, so I was like, I had a headache. I didn't really want to, be alive at that moment, but I still had a good time watching it.
Yeah, no, it was a good match. It was very, very good for Azumi to establish herself. I can't imagine Tony wasn't really happy with, Tony Khan wasn't very happy with
Mm,
the match, which is probably why they've already got plans for her to be on Forbidden Door. I don't know what she does there, given Tony probably faces Mina at Forbidden Door. So you're either looking at a TBS title match or like a New Japan Strong match, but she already faced Vaquer, so I don't know if they'll do it again. And the TBS title is kind of up in the air because Julia Hart is hurt, but it was probably going to go to Mercedes Money. So are they going to do Mercedes and Azumi or Forbidden Door maybe? Hello, Dylan? He simply died. He heard Mercedes Monet and simply died.
okay, I'm back. That's my bad. I was actually not mad. It was. I don't know. The whole house just went out. Yeah, I mean, I think that I think Monet versus Azumi would probably make sense, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's a match that Monet wants to have. They had the triple threat last year, and she seemed like she had a great experience with that. I wouldn't be surprised if Monet wants to do it in a, arena in America to kind of show what she can do physically, even though that would be two pay-per-views in a row of her having rematches, from New Japan. I don't know if Tony wants that for
Oh yeah, her
Monet's
and Willow.
first
Oh yeah.
yeah, for her first couple matches, but I can see it. And I mean, I kind of my Wi-Fi kind of went out a little bit, but as I was saying, there's 4 belts in the company. You know, what I mean, like Ring of Honor included. I mean, uh,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they would put Athena on the show. They don't seem to do that.
they usually
Um,
put her on, or last year they put her on the pre-show. Um,
mm,
like that's the thing about Forbidden Door is that it's usually very very full, so they like to put like cool little matches on the pre-show. So I can see them
yeah,
running like Billy versus Azumi, for example, on the pre-show for Forbidden Door. Um, And you know Billy would fucking love that. She's been asking for a
yeah.
match with Izumi for years now.
I just wondered, like, the New Japan Strong women's belts would usually be on it, but you can't
Mm.
do Vaquer and Azumi again, I would imagine.
I mean, you could always put three. That's one thing is you probably put I if I, it was me, and from the sounds of it, Tony Khan does like Stephanie Vacker. Like he's
Who
mentioned
doesn't?
her before. Good point. If you don't, kind of dumb in my opinion. But so I can see him putting her in a singles match on the main card, the Tony match in a singles match on the main card, and maybe either like a big tag on the pre-show or putting one of the other belts. I mean, Mercedes is probably going to defend CBS. Do they want to put 3 women's matches on the card? That's an issue. We'll see.
Yeah, I
We'll see.
mean, Mercedes is obviously a game changer in that regard
Yeah.
because you're gonna get her on as many cards as you can. The only reason she's not on Dynasty is because she's not fit yet to go.
Yeah.
Um, so I would imagine there will be a Tony match on that and Mercedes, and then maybe there'll be another match on the pre-show that's like a tag or something. But you could get Vacker on there if he wants to pull CMLL
Man,
into Forbidden Door.
give me like Vacker and Catalina versus Azumi and Kamitani versus
Chris and
Chris and
Willow,
Willow.
let's get it. Yeah.
That's it. That's right there. That's the match right there.
Um, but yeah, that's an interesting one.
They definitely wouldn't bring Saya, they just put Anna Jay in that shit, but,
Yeah, they
let me
would they
dream.
would. But yeah, Azumi seems to have worked her way into the conversations here with her performance. So her and Mina appear to be the two main ones that Tony and Co are very happy to use.
They
I'd
are
imagine.
Team America,
Yes, well,
or were
partially.
were team
Yeah.
were Team America that disbanded when Azumi
Yeah.
called her stupid.
Beyond AEW though, the other reason that Mina and Azumi were in America was for Windy City Riot, which
Mm,
you were in attendance
I
for,
was.
and it was on the 12th of April. And on the pre-show, the team of Alex Windsor and Trisha Dora beat Viva Van and Mina Shirakawa. I thought,
Yeah, uh, go ahead, you first.
I thought Adora was there to take the pin, but no, it was Alex Windsor pinning Viva Van instead and putting herself next in line for the strong women's title.
Yeah, first strong women's championship match, to not feature a Stardom wrestler since, the first match since, Willow versus
Oh
Mercedes.
yeah, it's crazy.
And even then, Mercedes was effectively you um, yeah. So this match kind of suffered from just like the vibe, and I think all of them kind of suffered from the not all of them, but this match specifically suffered from the vibe. Everybody was still getting like concessions and merch and shit, so the crowd was pretty empty. Um, it didn't have all the lights and like pizzazz that the main show had, and I think the big downfall of this match was that nobody knew or cared who Alex Windsor was
Yeah,
in the venue. So it was just like even when Viva Van would do something cool or Mina would do something cool, it was just like, yeah, but like we like 2 of these people maybe. And it was Mina and Trisha Dora, right? Um and that was kind of like the story of the match. It kind of fell a bit for me there. Getting to see the dance before you, lovely, lovely experience. Um
man.
my buddy was about to go to concessions to get some food, and I was like, "Nah, you gotta sit your ass down. Watch the dance. Watch the dance. Watch the dance. She's gonna do the dance." And she did the dance, and he was like, "Yeah, that was worth. That was worth. Now I'm gonna go get some food."
That's fair. Honestly, I would stick around for the dance. Um, I from my perspective, I thought it was a sloppy match.
Yes.
I think all four are way better than what they showed here, especially Alex Windsor. I thought she had a pretty poor showing compared to what we've seen from her. This was not anywhere close to her TJPW work. It wasn't even close to her Eve work. Like
Mm.
she really underperformed, I thought. Um, Viva Van, I thought was pretty solid in it. Like I said last week, the week before, I think she's
She
improved a
probably looked
lot.
she probably worked the best, yeah. Just,
Yeah.
like, in terms of, like, what I've seen from her, she, like, did about that and a bit better, in comparison to I think Trish did worse than usual, Alex did worse than usual, Mina did worse than usual. I think Viva Van was, like, pretty, on par, a bit better than
Mhm.
what I've seen of her.
And that it kind of suffered because of that. The crowd couldn't really get into it,
Mm,
just because it wasn't very well worked. And you know, if Alex, I'd imagine Alex will be on more shows, given she's
got
with Will
resurgence,
and is
yeah.
probably traveling. Um, are they doing her and Vaquer in England?
No, they're
Because
doing it
there's a
in LA.
Fantastica Mania show in England.
Oh, yeah. I
So
think
and
I
Vaquer
think
is
they're
on it.
doing it I think they're doing it at the next, New Japan Strong show, which is in I don't know if it's in LA, but it's in California. Um,
Wouldn't be sure now. We'll have to wait and see. But I know
yeah,
Vaquer is on that Fantastica Mania show, and it is Rev Pro, which is like the main place that books
true.
Alex Windsor outside of Eve. So they might do it there.
I will say, a little jumping forward a little bit, when Alex Windsor started talking in her promo to Stephanie Vaquer, um, a bunch of people next to me heard her British accent and audibly went, "Oh, brother," and then like start booing her. And this is
That's
men and
incredible.
women. This isn't like a
Good.
like there was just like a woman who's like, "What the fuck?" Like people were audibly mad that she was British, and I found that very funny.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of that, though, Stephanie Vaquer retained the Strong Women's Championship in 10 minutes. Well, actually, 11 minutes closer to
Mm.
when she beat Azumi with her package backbreaker thing that they didn't put the name of. And yeah, this was a good match. It was probably better in person, but I thought it came across really well. Vaquer did some good stuff. Azumi is always fun, and yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, as much as it pains me to say, Stephanie Vaquer came across as like one of the biggest stars. Somehow, Stephanie Vaquer and Jack Perry, two the biggest stars on the show. Like just vibe wise, just you know, outside of like Moxley and Naito, who are Moxley and Naito, uh,
Yeah,
Steph and Jack Perry were the two who were just like, holy shit, these,
that's
I mean,
crazy.
um, because yeah, Stephanie Vaquer just is a beast. She brings this like presence that is unlike anything else. Um, she's tremendous. My buddy, also named Alex, the guy I went to the show with,
Right.
also named Alex. Um, I was telling him, I was like, the women's match is gonna be fucking great. Like you're gonna, get into it. And he did. He started like he was like rooting for Izumi almost as much as I was. And we were just like getting really into it because it was just such a well done match. Um, I will say I think it was a bit more Stephanie and a bit less Azumi. And as a Azumi fan, I would have liked a bit more Azumi down the stretch. Like she probably could have pulled out a Canadian Destroyer type of thing. You know what I mean? Like there's a couple
Oh
high
yeah.
spots I think she could have dove into from her back pocket, but she didn't really, which is okay. Like it didn't mean the match was any worse. I was just like, oh man, I wish there was a little bit more from Azumi as she's losing the match right now. But yeah, I thought the match in general was tremendous. Stephanie Vaquer is just such a hard hitting and intense wrestler that's so fun to watch. And Azumi, just watching her, run around the ring, I like legit bucket list type shit. Getting to see Azumi live, and in a good match, like that's like I could have been stuck watching her and Anna Jay tag somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, but I got this, so I was super happy with this was worth the price of admission, right? It was
Yeah.
1% worth it. I was so happy with this match, and yeah, it was definitely among probably top two matches of the show for me.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the
And it was a
card, I don't know
it,
what
it was a
else to
solid
say about
show,
it. Yeah.
um, but I think this was the top bins, if you will.
That's fair enough. What I asked Pedro about this kind of last week, and I will ask you it now. Charisma wise, star power wise, how do Mina and Azumi come across in the venue? And who comes off as the bigger star when you're there?
I think it's unfair for two reasons. One, obviously, I like Azumi more, and two, the pre-show, the vibe was completely different.
Yeah.
So like, just like I can understand Mina's star power, but it didn't come across as well as I think it
Right.
would, if she was, on the actual card or, even, you get what I mean there.
Mhm.
As for Azumi, I felt like Azumi looked tremendous. Just like as a, you know, she really did feel like a special attraction on the card because like people were like, "Oh, I wonder what this is about," and then people really got into it. As
Yeah.
it's definitely like I said, but yeah, I think it's a bit unfair to rate Mina for me because the match was kind of mid. It was on the pre-show, so nobody really cared. Everybody was getting their food. It just kind of slipped through the cracks in that sense. But Izumi definitely feels like someone in the words of Keno, her match is one that should be watched, right? Like
Yeah.
she's someone that you want to go out of your way to see, and I think that came across pretty well in the venue.
All right.
And
Well,
obviously, in part that's because she's my favorite wrestler, but also it's just like even like I said, my buddy who doesn't watch wrestling actively in any way was like, yeah, like those motherfuckers were sick. He was really into the match, and I was very happy, and that's a good litmus test for me. Um, Con contrastly, doesn't like Tomohiro Ishii.
good. Good.
He
That's
thought that like the stand like the exchange was like very which like he sounded like me. He was like it felt very like it was they were doing it for no reason. I was like it wasn't earned. You're right. I talk about this every fucking week. When motherfuckers don't earn their like big slow exchange shit. And that was our discussion on the walk home or walk back to the car after the show. But yeah, it was a very fun time seeing Azumi versus Vaquer and the rest of the show. Shouts out House of Torture. Those motherfuckers, I love them. Ren Narita and Jack Perry.
carried
That's what that's
somehow.
all about. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Um, well, that was Stardom in America for this week. Quite the eventful time they had there.
Hmm.
Uh, the next thing then to get onto is the news. We had a press conference earlier today for well, they said it was for the Buntai show, and then announced 3 matches and like confirmed 3 more that we already knew. But they did announce that Mayu's movie will be coming out on May 17th in Japan. So we now have a date for that. Um, and that kind of confirms that she will not be dropping the IWGP Women's title until, at the very least, May or June, because she's not dropping this belt while the movie is out.
Oh, I thought she was gonna drop it to Homegirl Wrestling for Aussie. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't really know a lot of the stuff here. The poster is in Japanese, but I imagine there'll be ways to watch this movie very quickly, but nobody's gonna know what they're
You know what
saying.
I saw yesterday? The actress who plays Mayu was like
Yeah.
super hyped about the Fuka announcement and the Fuka Mayu
Oh
exchange.
no.
She was like, "This is so." She's like, as someone who lived, like as an actress, I lived some of Mayu's life. I understand how fucking sick this is.
That's good. That's fun. The actual card then for the Buntai show, which we only have in part, we have Konami returning to Stardom as a full-time roster member, and they're commemorating that with a trios match. It is her, Amisori, and Siri against 3 opponents to be decided, which is gonna be one of the fuckiest ways I've ever seen anyone announce a match 10 days before the show. When is the show? The 27th. Yeah, 11 days until the show. And they said, yeah, it's a mystery trios match.
And it's not even like a mystery. Like it's probably gonna be fucking Oedo Tai. Like you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
it's not like oh they're gonna. If they do, hey, that's on me. But it's not like they're gonna pull out all the stops and bring in fucking some like badass outsider team. It's like no, they're just gonna just tell us who it is, man. Like I don't
Yeah, it's we're gonna get into some of the stuff that's currently getting people
the
talking.
airing of grievances.
Yeah, but Konami coming back kind of makes sense. I figured Stardom would make some signings to fill the gaps for when people left, and Soriano getting locked down kind of mostly full time was the first one of those. I know you get Konami, who has a very easy home as the number two in God's Eye to replace Mariah.
Mm.
And, I think she fits there. I think she's, an experienced, kind of respected wrestler who you can put into big matches, which is something that they've just lost, I would say, three of. Utami, Julia, and Mariah were kind of people you could throw in for a red
Yeah.
or white belt match, and you've kind of lost those. So now you get one of those back in Konami.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know what much she does right now, but I also just don't feel a vibe of what we're doing going forward, so I can't really like say that's a Konami thing as much as it's a
Yeah.
Stardom thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm shit. That's cool. It sounds like I wouldn't be surprised if they win the artist belts. Um, to kind of correct, like right the ship, because it felt like Star. But then again, we don't know who's booking what, but it felt like Stardom was like pretty cool with like, okay, God's Eye gets the trios belts, and we'll like hang on this for a little bit, and then Mariah's like, yeah, no, I'm dipping, so fuck you on that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they got the artist belts to kind of like I said, right the ship and show that God's Eye is just as strong now as it was with Mariah. But we'll see ultimately.
Yeah, and I wonder if, the main tag team of God's Eye now is Yuri and Konami instead of Mariah and Ami Sourei. Ami was, the New Eras was the main tag of the group.
Mm,
Obviously now you need a new one. It doesn't look like it's going to be Suri and Ami. So maybe you go Suri Konami.
yeah. And with Sakashima doing her own thing, kind of,
Mm.
uh, not really in the tag scene. And it seems like she's kind of vibing with Rana right now, where it's like
Yeah.
she's like blaming the rookie on everything. She's like, "But I didn't do anything wrong. I did the good stuff this time. What?" I imagine that's kind of where they're going. It does leave me wondering what Ami does, just generally. Um, but because yeah, I feel like Konami, if Ami was like feeling like she's gonna move up, she's definitely not now. You know what I mean?
Oh
I
yeah.
feel
I
like
mean,
Konami is
it would
firmly
be it wouldn't be a great choice to move her up, but
no.
that's just me.
But yeah,
The match after that then is a Future of Stardom Championship match. It is Rina defending against Sayaka Kurara.
I actually kind of
Um,
like this. I like this
yeah, it's
match, and
good.
I like the story
Yeah.
to it because Rena's basically been like, "Man, these Stardom trainees just don't got the fire that we used to." Um, she's like, "I've been wrestling motherfuckers from outside this company, and they've been stimulating me way more than y'all. The fuck's up with you?" And so Carrara kind of stepping up and being like, "Okay, let's let me show you what it's all about." I really like that. I think it's a cool
Mhm.
little story. I think Rena being the gatekeeper is interesting. I would have thought it would have been Miyu, but I guess using a heel in that role probably works better. Um, yeah, I think this match will probably be pretty fun, especially if it goes early and it goes a bit shorter. I think that's where Sayaka will really thrive. And Rena's really figuring out this style for the future belt. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm excited for this match actually.
Yeah, it's a good match, and Sayaka can lose obviously. And she's just got the Cosmic Angels seal of approval, so it's a logical next step for her. And
Mm.
maybe you can feed it into an Aya Sakura challenge of her saying, "Hey, well, you fucked up, so I'm gonna challenge now." Because they are gonna keep the belt on Rina. She did set up the
Yes.
match with Hina, who's still out hurt, so I imagine she keeps it until they get to do that.
Yeah. If it's she doesn't stay hurt for the rest of the year, then yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The next match announced was the Stardom debut of Aja Kong, the greatest wrestler of all time, one of the most legendary Joshi to ever grace the earth. Uh, you know, Enemy of Rossi Ogawa. He is gone 2 months and she has already appeared. And we get Aja Kong in here against Meltier, the team
Mm.
of Tam Natsupoi. Sadly, though, Aja Kong is teaming with Kiyoru Ito. Now,
See, I
I
don't hate that as much as I think most people do.
I don't know. Kirito's really bad now.
She
Like
is. I mean, hey,
she's awful.
if
I
you could have
it's
gotten T instead of I, it would have been better.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, how the one time I would be like, actually, Tomoko Watanabe is
Yeah.
honestly, Dump Matsumoto probably is better than Kirito at this stage. Like Kyoto is just really. sad to watch, kind
Yeah.
of. So
And part
I
of this
don't
is
know.
probably that like Sari wanted her second.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, if you're booking Sorry, you have to book Hirohito.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Either you book her or you pay her to show up and stand at ringside for her.
Hmm.
That those are your choices. But and so like I kind you know, I kind of respect and love Sari for that. I think it's like so real of her, but also I don't really want to see Kira wrestle in 2024. Um,
Yeah.
and
Especially
like,
like
yeah.
this could have been a really fun match with Natsupoi getting beat up by Aja and like any other legend, and
To be
then
fair,
Tam.
I think this still could be really good. Um,
I don't know.
it's just a matter of like how much Ito is it because I think that Natsupoi can work very well, kind of doing the um man in the middle spots where she's just kind of like running around Ito and like kind of
Mm,
like I think that kind of sequence can work for them. But I would prefer it if Ito's in the ring as little as possible. And also I think Ito is not gonna get the best out of Kong as a partner.
yeah,
You know what I
Kong
mean?
needs somebody agile to do
Yeah.
stuff. Like this is a weird pair because even when Kong teamed with Tam and Spark, you kind of
Mm,
notice that Tam isn't a runaround seller to fill the gaps
yeah.
that Aja leaves. So unless this is just them fully beating the shit out of Natsupoi for like 10 minutes and doing a hot tag to Tam, I don't know how that works
Which I
as a
think it
team.
probably will be. Uh,
Probably.
but yeah, because I imagine Ito beats the fuck out of Natsupoi a lot because they have that connection.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm not as low on this match as everybody else is. Like, I'm not saying I'm a Karo Ito fan 2024, but I
It
don't
just annoys
hate.
me that this could have been exceptional because
Yes, yes.
Aja can have exceptional matches and Meltier are great and you
Who would
just
you
needed
have
the
put
right
with her?
piece.
Do you think?
I mean, we floated Kandori. I think Kandori would have worked.
I don't think
Uh,
Kandori's a
Kandori
Stardom
can't
winner
fill the
anymore.
gaps, but she has the aura to make it work. Kind of like Dump, where
Hmm.
you can just viably buy them beating the shit out of these two.
I mean, that would be
Um,
ideal. I think Kandori
yeah.
and Aja versus like that would have been so fucking sick.
Mhm.
'Cause I mean, I still want that Kandori Tam match personally.
Oh yeah. That.
um, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
even
Another option probably would be Jaguar.
Natsuko.
Jaguar, I think, can
Oh
still
yeah,
go to some degree, and you'd get that legend involved. So I would have got Jaguar. I think even Yumiko Hoda to an extent can like pull off the I'm gonna beat the
man,
shit out.
hold that would have been the coolest match possible. Meltier versus Hoda and Aja.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I think that could have worked. I just think Kyorito is the wrong profile, like in every way for the
yeah.
match. Like Aja needs to be paired up with a fellow I'm going to eat you alive wrestler or somebody to fill the gaps, and
Hmm.
Ito was neither.
Yeah, honestly, I think if Momo wasn't in the world title match, I think Momo and Aja could be a cool team. In terms of
Yeah,
like
that would go
Momo has
crazy.
that, I think they have a vibe, and also like I was
Why did
thinking
Megan Bayne go
Aja,
home? Imagine Megan Bayne and Aja Kong
that would be the most
as a team.
destructive team of all time.
Oh my god,
I should just be like,
why did she
you
leave?
kind of remind me of Reggie Bennett. Let's just do that. Let's just do our like, just do
Yeah,
me and Reggie's old stuff.
that'd be great. The obvious like big point of this match is Tam and Aja,
Mm.
which is kind of an interesting sell. I don't think either of them will be involved in the fall. Aja is probably going to pin Natsupoi when all is said and done. But the big pairing is Tam and Aja, so I do wonder how that kind of works. And I'm kind of interested to how they pair off.
Oh yeah, Aja said that she hopes by the end of the match she will understand what Boy means and it'll come
That's
to a
incredible.
conclusion. And Tam's like, I don't think you know how this works. Uh,
Yeah, Tam was like, "Yeah, I don't know." that, that was
you
crazy.
could do a lot of things, Aja. Figure out what that means. I don't think that's your
Yeah.
calling right now.
The last three matches then are three that we already knew. It's the IWGP Women's Championship. Mayu is defending against Sari. Siri Ano is defending against Cinderella winner Hanan. And in the World of Stardom Championship match, we have Maika versus Momo Anabe.
In the 3 stages of hell match.
Yeah, so they haven't said this on the website, and even the English account kind of talked around it, but they proposed the stipulation of three falls, First one is just a normal match. The second one is hardcore. Third one's last man standing. And this has got a lot of people up in arms because uh, that kind of stipulation is not only really weird, but it's also prime material for Oedo Tai to just stand in the ring for 2 straight falls and beat the shit out of Micah in the most
Contextually, it doesn't make
boring
much
way
sense.
possible. It doesn't. Micah looks like an absolute dumbass.
And
Um,
also, like, optimistically, Momo looks bad. Like, the
well,
best way they
that's if
can
she
do this, it
loses.
would look
Yeah.
it would be making Momo look bad. Well, because if she wins, it will probably be dumb. You know what I mean? Like, they have to do, like,
Well, the last man standing thing kind of gives them an out for the final one because
yeah.
it's like, yeah, I stand tall and you lose, but it's definitely like there's a world where this is really good if they embrace the
Mm.
brawling nature of it, and we see, Oedo
Micah
Tai
in
be more.
jeans.
Yeah, but if Oedo Tai is more akin to the Joshi history side of it than House of Torture, and they've generally lately been more on the, you know, we're violent and we're going to beat the shit out of all of you people, that side. But a stipulation like this really feels like it could go overboard into like
Mm.
bloodline territory of just eye rolling levels of, okay, what the
Kameka
hell are we
makes a
gonna
run in.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, but I also think it reflects poorly on Taro that he doesn't have the belief in his wrestlers to draw. He has to put a stipulation on it. Like I
Mm.
wonder if this is Taro. This is gonna be the future now, where anytime he has a big show that he needs to sell, he's gonna dip into stipulations because he doesn't believe that his wrestlers in, good stories and good matches is what's gonna draw.
Fundamentally, I like the idea of a 2 out of 3 falls match. I think that, like, main event programs should utilize 2 out of 3 falls matches more often. Um, but I don't really like, and this is gonna dip a little bit into my dislike of Momo's presentation in general. So obviously take that with a grain of salt. I just don't really like Momo as a, dastardly heel in the sense that she is now. Um, I think shoehorning her to basically be like, "Yeah, I'm I'm only good at hardcore matches," and, like, like, vibe-wise just kind of sounds really lame. You
I
know what I
will
mean?
see. I feel like her line has been, "I want to destroy this venue. Like I want to beat you so bad
Mm.
that the walls fall down." So and Micah put forward the last man standing step. So I
Since
think
she's yeah.
Momo's approach is definitely a lot more violent. She is like, "I would like to have weapons to absolutely kill you and leave you in a mess." So I think she actually kind of looks really good coming into it. It's how she looks coming out of it that would be.
Yeah.
Um,
I also kinda tweeted this, that I think, intuitively, this would be Momo wins the first fall, uh, shocks the world, wins the first fall. Micah wins the second fall and as a shocker,
yeah.
because, it would be a misdirect, right? Like,
Mhm.
Momo says, "Oh, I have a better chance of absolutely obliterating you in a hardcore match," whereas Micah's a bit more straight-laced. Um, I think that, like, Momo just beating her straight up and Micah having to fight back, and this also assumes that Micah wins. Micah has to fight back to win the second fall and then win the third fall.
Mhm.
Uh, I think that would be pretty cool. But I feel like Taro Okada might be the type of person who goes, subtext is for, cowards. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
wonder how on the nose this will be. You know what I mean? Does Micah win the first fall? Momo does Micah win her fall? Momo wins her fall, and then Micah wins her fall, right? Because, like, Micah's are the normal match and the last man standing match. Momo's is the hardcore match, like, in terms of, like, uh domains, right? That's kind of the vibe. Uh, so I don't know. It does depend on how they do it. I'm not personally, like, especially opposed to it. Like I said, I like 2 out of 3 falls matches. I think that they can be used very well, and they
I
should be
think the
used more often.
stipulation is the issue more than 2 out of
It's
3
the last
falls.
man standing,
Yeah.
especially for
Which
me.
are generally bad, by the way. I feel like I need to put that out there. The last man
Yeah.
standing matches are generally not good. So
Which they could've the thing is, and also is that these two aren't knockout artists.
No.
So I don't know.
But
Yeah, I don't
see,
know.
I feel like all this points to the big thing that people have been talking about. This is kind of like the culmination of some people's frustrations with Taro so far. Because I feel like he got a lot of credit for the early run and the Cinderella stuff, but I feel like the Cinderella final might have been booked already. Like Rossi probably had it planned at least a month out, you know.
Hmm.
He was fired kind of abruptly. He probably had the next month planned. And what we've
Yeah, because he was
seen,
supposed to leave on the day of the Cinderella final, so I imagine he had until the Cinderella final in his head.
yeah. So like what we've seen since then is seems to be purely Taro, and the people have been very let down. You know, he doesn't announce anything. We are, as we said, 11 days out from the card, and there's a big press conference. And the first match he announced didn't have all the competitors. Most of the big names didn't get mentioned at all. We don't know what they're doing. Uh,
Half
the
the
uploads have been a bit
champions
slower.
aren't
Like
here.
the uploads have been slower. Like there's nothing from Saturday and Sunday up yet. The Corkin was paywall, so that's going to take ages to go on Stardom World. And now he's booking this weird stipulation that a lot of people already think a way to tire House of Torture, and now they're going to go, oh shit, are they going to go full evil on this? So this whole press conference almost worked against Stardom because people are now like, are they just gonna go full Gato? Is this where we're going with this? Because the 2 out of 3 falls and the stipulations on it does read very much like the heel faction is gonna fuck over Micah. Um, and it's how you execute that that's really going to be telling because, as I said, there's a good way to do it and there's a bad way to do it, and I don't know which one they're going to go with.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm not inherently anti-stipulation, but it does read a bit. It could get messy in
Hmm.
terms of just like logic, like wrestling logic. Um, yeah, I don't know.
They're gonna go
Um,
long as well. I feel like that's
oh, very.
guaranteed. Like this is going 40 probably.
Yeah. It's a shame this
Uh,
is this is how we get the first big time Momo singles main event since
yeah, dude, this
2020,
Buntai show has been so
2021,
odd.
I guess.
Like just
The
the everything
last
about
star.
this is so strange. Um,
Would
what
this
a weird
be
time. What?
this would be the first like Momo singles title match in the main event since the Utami match years ago.
Probably, yeah.
First like big time main event pay-per-view singles match since the Shuri match.
Yes.
Or no, she had one that was bad.
Oh, her and Saya, was it?
Did they
Was
main no,
that a main event? Yeah, I don't know if that main evented. So
I think it was her and Shuri, but in the title match, which was way weaker than anything they'd ever done before that.
I don't recall Siri ever defending the belt against Momo.
But
She
somebody
might say
defend
more about me than
I
anything.
think that did
I'm
happen.
pretty sure Siri defend. Wait a minute, because I think Starlight Kid and Momo both challenged for belts on the same show. Is that the one you're
Mhm,
talking about?
I believe so.
Because it was Kid and Saya, Siri and Momo.
Yeah, Shuri and Momo, 20
Oh
minutes
yeah,
at Kings of Summer. It was the main event.
yes,
Got
yes,
has a
yes.
good rating, but I remember it being like, good,
Uh, I
not
don't know.
much more than that. Um, but yeah, this feels like a first time, like, I don't know. I don't want to get into pontificate about Momo's
Yeah, we can leave that
Momo.
for after because I feel like
Yeah.
this could go either way, and a lot will depend on execution.
We also have to talk about all this next week, presuming
Yes,
that
yeah,
the
yeah,
full card is out by then, which
which
I hope.
is not guaranteed.
4 days? Let's hope. Let's hope it
Yeah,
on 4 days' notice, we know what matches are gonna be. And this is on pay-per-view, that's the other thing. Like, I get it for Stardom World shows, whatever, you don't put up the like, it frustrates me, but whatever. But these are like, some of these are pay-per-views. Like, that
yeah.
Korakuen show did not like, whatever.
All right. Well, uh, we're gonna finish up here. We're gonna record part 2 tomorrow. Because I can't keep going. Um, that was our first kind of that was our dive into America and the Buntai card and some of the frustrations people are airing out with Taro Okada. Because I really do think this is a legacy game for him already. Like if this show doesn't work, I think he's fighting an uphill battle, especially after the launch of Marigold and kind of how much attention that got. So yeah, we'll be back with part two. Maybe in better spirits, maybe in worse spirits. Who the hell knows? But yeah, I'll catch you then. I'll have to do another intro. So
Transition. We are back, and more things have occurred uh, than we expected in the past 24 hours. So there are a few things that we would like to cover this week, so we don't forget about next week. Um, and then we'll get into the review and preview section. Is that right, Alex?
yes, so we have a mid-show Rossi watch, which we kind of have to rebrand now that he's got a name. The first one is that a report 15 minutes ago dropped on Julia and Marigold. This is from Dave Meltzer, and he says WWE flew both Julia and Ogawa to WrestleMania to make a deal. Ogawa is attempting to get Io Sky and Kairi Sane to Marigold for a major show this summer that will be announced shortly. While not finalized due to visa issues, Julia is expected to be working for both companies for some time before eventually moving to America with her family. Whether this happens or not, Marigold is expected to work with WWE to have Julia appear on a few big shows per year. So the Ogawa WWE deal kind of following the trend that we said like 2 weeks ago that it's like, hey, I really want to use Julia, please, and also kind of have my daughters back. Um, and I'm sure in exchange he will give reps to some PC trainee because that's kind of what WWE does now. I mean, they just announced Mako Satomura for Fortune
There you
Dream,
go.
so they are allowing their wrestlers to go elsewhere. So
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I am interested in how this goes because, like, I don't know, like you kind of expect I personally expected EO and I mean I thought that Kairi's last run in Stardom was what I'm about to be talking about. I expected both of them to kind of do a Shinsuke, where it's
mhm,
like Shinsuke is undoubtedly going back to New Japan when
yeah,
he's done with WWE because that's his home and he'll want to, get a few matches out over there before he hangs up the boots. I kind of expected that to happen, especially with EO. I think that's
mhm,
what happened with Kyrie last year, but then the split obviously was like, ooh, I should probably get some I should probably get my money up. Just because it's not worth going through all the drama and you could just get paid.
yeah,
Uh, so I kind of expected that. So I wonder how that works now. Like, I wonder if they'll just be kind of content with never working, like maybe not full time, but never working specifically in Japan again, like as a like getting accustomed to that style. Because we talk about it a lot. Maybe not on this show because we don't really talk about WWE too much, but just like as a fan base, especially fan base of wrestling promotions that aren't necessarily WWE, there's a WWE rust that is like pretty noticeable for a lot of wrestlers once they are no longer in WWE. That will just never go away under this deal with like EO and Kyrie if they come over. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
mhm,
Um, I mean, even you could look back as far as Medusa, right? Like Medusa's work. Well, actually, no, actually, you can't. Medusa got a lot better when she went to WWE. That's a bad example. Um, but yeah, because I forgot how bad Medusa was pre WWE. I'm gonna be real,
yeah,
but there are examples that's like, oh, you know, them like the partnership works, but they aren't their true self. It's just like it could get messy. It could be a little bit underwhelming. Um, but I think generally that's not a bad partnership. I don't think it's a bad strat for Rossi. I don't like it personally, just as like someone who has trust issues, especially regarding them. Uh,
yeah.
But, I get it. You want your Julia, you want your EO, and you want your Kyrie to be around every once in a while if you can have them. You know, I get why he's doing it. I just don't really like it.
Yeah, Julia working both is kind of I feel like that is just a booking nightmare that I would
Mm,
rather not have if I was him, but he seems to be willing to work around it. You know, the Julia Sari thing is a tag match. I imagine Julia's not allowed to lose. So yeah, that's a bit of a headache to me that I wouldn't want to work around. But if Rossi thinks he can do it, then
She's
so be it.
100% gonna be the Tony Storm 2019 run, and that's
Yeah,
just gonna be her from now on. And I
yeah,
would, I would argue that a checked out Julia who's just kind of doing her dates is maybe a little bit better than peak Tony Storm around that time. So it's like I'm not particularly excited for that aspect of it. Um, yeah, you know, I mean,
yeah,
the presumed Freedom reunion down the line a year or two from now, under Rossi's watch would be pretty sick. But
yeah. That's true, actually. I mean,
like,
that's his big one, I would imagine, is to
yeah,
do that. You do EO
EO,
Utami
yeah, I was
probably,
gonna
and
say Yu
then
Utami and the
Freedom.
Freedom
Yeah.
stuff.
So
Those are the big ones.
maybe a Kairi Natsumi Sumikawa reunion as well.
Hmm.
Something like that. But yeah, definitely a bit of a headache to work around, I would imagine, in practicality. But we'll have to wait and see if it comes out and actually happens.
Especially
Um,
with
you know,
Julia, I feel like EO being a booking nightmare is just that was EO for years before she even
yeah,
left
that's true.
Stardom, to
Yeah.
be fair. Like, I think it's not part of her. I mean, it is kind of just a part of her status just as a wrestler. And like now she, defended a world championship at WrestleMania. I get where that becomes a bigger issue. But with Julia, it feels like it's a headache just to be a headache. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it just doesn't I feel like it would be it's not good for either party fully. Um I feel like a pure separation, and then years from now if Julia wants to do you know a date in Japan with Rossi every once in a while, then that works. But I think this like is negative towards her NXT run, and it's also negative towards her Marigold run. I don't think it I feel like you're burning the candle at both ends, you know what I mean? um
Probably.
so
But
I'm a bit more optimistic about like an EO match in Marigold than Julia's run in Marigold as of right now, if that makes any
okay.
sense.
Marigold may not need any of them though,
Yeah.
because their debut show is about to sell out, super
It's
sell
about to
out
be like
Corkin.
the biggest Corkin show of the year.
Probably in a while as well. They seem to be opening seats that I haven't seen opened in a long time.
They're
According to
already
him,
north of 1400 according to someone.
yeah, according to Himanshu Doi,
Hmm.
the all the seats for that were released yesterday have sold out except for the women's section, and that they are gonna start selling standing room tickets. And he said that currently, the number of ticket sales has exceeded 1,400. So this is a hot ticket. I don't think I've ever seen tickets sell this quickly for a Joshi show.
We better value these Shinkiba shows before Rossi's like, ah, it ain't worth it. We gotta move up.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably regrets doing this in Corkin now because, I mean, the launch of this promotion was probably always going to do well, but maybe not like fully selling out Corkin well. But we could see them open up the balconies for the first
Yeah.
time, which would be insane. Like I haven't seen that in a long, long time.
Yeah. The issue is that, and we talked about this in as we were texting each other this morning. Is that like Oda Ward would be like the perfect place for it, but
Hmm.
Oda Ward's closed for the year. Um, because I feel like even going to Budokan would be way too big, and even Ryogoku would be very, very big for a first time. Like it would be a risk. Like Korkin is the least like uh, you're not risking anything selling out, super selling out a Korkin, except for maybe not making as much profit as you could theoretically at a slightly bigger venue. But even then, it becomes more again risky. Like you could actively lose money on a bigger venue a lot easier than you will uh, basic business type of bullshit. Basic promoter shit. So I would have liked if they went a bit bigger, but also I don't know what bigger they would want to go for. I wonder if they can run the Yokohama Budokan because I feel like that's like Stardom's home venue now. I
I'd
wonder if
imagine
there's
they're
like
allowed. I think the only one they're not allowed is the Musashino Plaza that the GP final is in, because that
oh
would have been
yeah.
a perfect spot, but I don't think they're allowed to run that. Stardom gets that through a partnership with the basketball league.
Mhm.
So the venues from that they're probably not allowed to use, but I'd say the rest are fair game.
Yeah. We'll see as time goes on whether or not they run the Yokohama Budokan because I feel like
Yeah.
that probably would have been a smart place to do this. Uh, But yeah,
They
I mean,
probably want to
hell,
launch in Tokyo though, so that's kind of the other
this is
issue.
true.
But
Yokohama is like what? It's only like a 20-minute, but it's still pretty far.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, hey, a hot Korakuen is better than most venues in Joshi.
that's true.
So
That's true. Um,
I'm happy with it as a viewer, but like looking at it from a business, put my glasses type of bullshit. Looking from a business standpoint, they probably should have gone a bit bigger.
yeah. On Stardom news, then there's no more Marigold talk. Don't worry. Um, 3 Stardom wrestlers were announced for a show on June 23rd. This is the Women's Wrestling Gokuaku Festival, sponsored by Gokuaku Domei, which is obviously the Atrocious Alliance, the faction that Dump Matsumoto was at the helm of during the Nagayo feud. Um, the 3 wrestlers announced are Sayaka Kurara, Natsupoi, and Natsuko Tora. They joined kind of a who's who there. Dump is on the show, Zap, Yumiko Hoda, Aku Inoue, Ryu Mizunami, Yu, Magenta, and a few other wrestlers from tiny promotions that nobody's going to know.
When is the show
So
again?
June 23rd. We probably
Okay.
won't see this. I don't think any of these have ever made tape, but it is interesting to see. Like Natsuko Tora is obviously going to be in like a 3-on-3 main event, and she's going to beat people up with Dump. It's fun.
You're right, but I think they should do Natsuko Tora versus Anaki in a singles.
Probably either way, we'll never see it. So it's
Yeah.
you know,
Actually, they shouldn't do
um,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Make me cry.
Um, After that, then I guess it's just the review. There was one
Reviews and previews,
show
yeah.
that's happened. Well, there's 3 shows that happened. Only one of them is up because it happened live anyway. This was Stardom in Corkin, April 2024. It had a sellout 1,390 fans. So Marigold
Not as good as
outdrawing
Marigold, but
the goodbye show. Yeah, crazy. Utami is about to like beat herself in the Flair Thez race. That's crazy. Our opening match then of the Corgan was Tam Nakano, Saori Ano, and Natsupoi beating Yuna Mizumori, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara in 10.5 minutes. Tam Nakano got the win for her team with a violet screwdriver and then welcomed the 2 new members into Cosmic Angels. I really liked this match. I thought it was really well done, especially like the early parts. I was really into that. And then the closing stretch was pretty cool because Unimon was just kind of going crazy for a bit.
It was, I mean, I'm me. Um, I'm gonna be real. Did Poi and Ano tag into this one like at all, or for longer than like 15 seconds? Because I feel
Pretty
like
sure
I
they
only
did the
saw
beating
Tam.
up very early.
Okay, very okay. So I probably just like as I was watching it, as I like really like sunk my teeth into it, probably like a minute in, I was like, oh, it's just Tam. And it's still Tam. Oh, still Tam. And Tam wins. Cool. Um,
Yeah.
and I say that I think Tam's been doing a really good job in ring since she returned, if I'm being honest. Um, like I haven't thought she was like uh, you know, her typical too much. Like I usually give her that little clarification that I think she's too much in a lot of things. I think she's been like pretty good in everything I've seen her in. This match I think just didn't really connect with me because outside of the Unimon stuff, I felt like the rookies kind of didn't like. I don't know. I felt like there was something missing, and it's interesting because I saw that tag match. It was Natsupoi and Unimon versus the rookies, and that was like perfect to me for what they were going for, and that was a week or two ago now. I feel like this one didn't hit on that same level, and also like I felt like I don't know. I feel like it didn't mesh as well for me as it might have others because probably I just don't care as much about the Kozen stuff, but
I
I
feel like
did
I
think there was some
don't
good
care
stuff in it.
about Tam at all, but I enjoyed it. I had to tell somebody to rewatch this for them to get it, and then they got it. And maybe
Maybe
you
I'll
just
have
need to
to
do the same.
do it. Man, I
'Cause it
might
was
have to
probably the
rewatch it.
middle of the night or something. Because I remember watching it and I was like, why did you tell me this was bad? Like this this was really good.
I didn't think this was
Because
bad. I just thought it was a match that happened.
well, it wasn't you, it was somebody else now. I remember just being like, I feel like you undersold this a little bit. Um, and I would say you're doing the same. Maybe there's just tiredness or something, but it was really enjoyable. What wasn't enjoyable was Starlight Kid and Rocka beating
See,
Waka
that's
Tsukiyama and
crazy. I thought
Hanako
this was very good. That's we
in
are opposites. I
in
thought
nine
this
and a
match
half
like
minutes.
worked a good pace and worked a good style, and I was very surprised that I liked it.
Kid beat Waka in 9.5 minutes with a Black Tiger leg destroyer, and it was okay, I guess. Um, there was like one or two cool bits that Waka did. Um,
I'm happy that Waka and Hanako as a duo have realized that like that Wingori match is their best bag. So they should just like
yeah,
try to do that style as much as possible. Um, because that made this a lot better. Like, because I think Waka is very weak relatively, just like in ring. That's just my take. I apologize to all the Waka maniacs out there. But I thought she did quite well in this match. I thought that like the flow really carried this to being a fun match for me. Um, and I obviously like Ruaka. I think Starlight Kid works very well with as a tag with Ruaka. Um, I think they like click more than uh, a lot of other stuff that I see Kid doing personally. So I like this match quite more than I thought I would. It wasn't like great, but I was just like, damn, I thought that was going to be bad, and yeah, it was good.
see, that's where probably we differ because I did not think it was going to be bad. I just thought it would be fine, and then it was fine. You know,
Mm. So yeah, I just thought it was going to be pretty dog
I
shit.
think a lot of these matches just don't benefit from the fact that nobody involved has anything going on.
Yeah,
Um, it's kind of hard to see what's happening here.
I was
Because like
thinking that.
Waka
I
was at her
felt
best when she had the storylines to sink into, or if like Kid was building up to a title match or something, you'd be like, okay, they're trying to make Kid look good, but we have no idea.
well, they
So
were
it's just
building
kind
they
of,
were building to the Taiwan match.
oh yeah, shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay,
That's why I actually wrote down. I was like, Starlight Kid and Ruaka work best when they're previewing a New Japan match. Um,
that's crazy.
but no, I agree. I think I saw that when I was thinking about like I watched the Oedo Tai Crazy Star Rion match, which we'll get to, unfortunately. Um, and I was thinking, it's like, what is Natsuko like? Natsuko's the leader of the top faction in the company right now. Like Oedo Tai, like vibe wise, feels like the biggest threat to everybody else in the company. Is that like crazy to say? Because Momo's
No,
obviously the big deal, and just like as they obviously like Raka was in the semifinals of the like, and Natsuko had that like I was like, what is Natsuko doing at all? Like
yeah,
even like from a vibe standpoint, it feels like she's just walking in place. Um, and more so than like previously, because usually there's always like something like she'll do a little I feel like it's been like a month since I've noticed Natsuko on a wrestling show,
she is definitely backseating a bit, but I don't know.
which is
I don't
okay.
know.
Momo's up front right now, that's cool, but
Yeah,
that's the case with a lot of wrestlers. And if Utami wasn't leaving, that would have been the case for Saya Kamitani, clearly, because like just
mhm.
vibe wise she's just not doing anything. um
Taking
but yeah.
pins, brother.
Yeah, except for taking
Behind the
pins
scenes.
and wrestling and catch the wave in a couple months.
Oh yeah, that's true. Speaking of Catch the Wave, one of the competitors was in our next match. Koguma and Momo Kogo beat Saki Kashima and Rana Yagami, and the team of Lady C and Mio Amasaki. Koguma got the win over Rana in just under 6 minutes with the 120% schoolboy.
They used to call that the Kuma roll, but yeah.
They probably still do. They just don't put it there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I still like Rana. Every time she's in a match, I'm like, yeah, she's cool.
I
And
thought Rana was cool. I thought Koguma did well.
yeah,
Otherwise it was a match that happened also.
it's true. That it is. These you can really tell that they were without like 10 different wrestlers for this weekend because like um you know, no Mirai, no Azumi, no Mina. Definitely takes a chunk out of some of the card depth there. Um Match after that then, unless you have any other thoughts on three-way tag.
No. Like I
No,
said, I
I
think
didn't
Koguma's
think
good.
so. I think Rana is good. So our
Oh,
next
that was also funny. My bad. Is this was the match where Sakashima was like, Rana, you weren't wrestling fast enough. What the hell? You're tagging with the high speed champion. Like you need to catch up. And Rana's like, respectfully, Fuck you. You were wrestling. You were actively walking in slow motion. That's not. I, I didn't do nothing wrong, man. And
You
I
can
like,
always trust Saki to
r-
to bring the goodness.
yeah, Rana and Saki's like pairing is very funny to me because Rana's such a natural like straight man, and Saki's just like you need to be better, and she's like, man, I didn't do anything.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean,
But yeah,
these odd couple Saki Kashima things are just
they're usually fun.
incredible.
Yeah,
Um, the next match anyway was Natsuko Tora, Rina, and Fukigen Death beating Suzu Suzuki, Mei Seira, and Rian. Rina beat Rian in just under 12 minutes with a diving double knee drop.
shouts out Chris
Um,
Wolf.
yes. I still don't have a read on Rian, which is kind
Yeah,
of
me neither.
interesting. Like, I don't know if she's maybe just capped at a solid wrestler or if I'm missing something. Because I'm just kind of like, yeah, she's there, and I don't think she's bad. I don't think she's like super high upside either. She's just kind of there, which is fine. It's just weird that I have no read on her when usually kind of clue in on a rookie pretty quickly, but with her, I'm still just like, yeah, shoulder shrug. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought this match would kind of tell me something, and it didn't. Um, Except for that this match felt very long. That was a big thing I got from
I mean,
this
12
because I was like,
minutes is,
yeah,
kind of long.
and most of it being Rian versus Rina, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, a bit long. Um, no, I agree. I don't really have a Rian right now. I don't want to sound like I feel like we'll talk about good Stardom starting in like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't want to sound too down, but like this undercard of this Korakuen was rough.
The undercards have definitely been not great recently.
Yeah,
But I think that's really one of the issues when five people leave, and
yeah,
two of those were valuable kind of mid to lower carders. And also, again, you had no Azumi or Mina here to fill out the thing. So I definitely feel like you felt it here that there were some departures and some people absent. Um, Especially then over the weekend because they didn't have Ano for the other two shows, I don't think. So
yeah.
you're like without Siri Ano as well, and Kid and Hanako. So yeah. After that match, then we had Prominence surprise everybody, and they showed up to wage war against Suzu Suzuki and challenge for the tag team titles. A lot of people expected this to be on Buntai, but I saw pretty early
It's
on
on
that they had
Osaka,
challenged
yeah.
for April 21st. I remember being like, yeah, no, it's not Buntai. They said a very different date. Um, I think that's good. Prominence are a good get to help fill out the cards. I figured somebody would throw a bag at Risa Serra because Rossi likes her, and I think Taro and Bushiroad like her. So to get all four of them in, I think that's good. It helps fill some of the gaps left
Mm,
by the people who departed. If they hear on any sort of like semi-regular basis, I mean, Kurumi is very talented. We talk about her all the time.
yeah.
I think Akane Fujita can hold her own as well. They're good people to have on the shows. Um, and they're good foils for Suzu Suzuki. I feel like if you do a proper feud, this can lead to Suzu joining a faction to maybe combat
Even
the
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 odds,
foursome
yeah.
of prominence. Yeah, because it's 2 against 4 currently. So I feel like that might be where this is going. Is somebody steps up to help Suzu and May, and that kind of leads to a faction.
Yeah, I don't even know what we're doing with the factions right now in Stardom. That's an interesting thing. Uh,
Mm.
they're kind of in a New Japan space where it's like in New Japan, like several of the factions are without leaders. Um, and they all just kind of exist outside of the new one, which is just five guys. Uh, and EXV in this case.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of where we're at. And I'm interested to see where we go with that because I think
Mm.
Suzu and May uh, are gonna get a faction eventually. Like I was kind of beating around. Oh, maybe they'll do they'll make a Hantai, right? Like they'll make a maybe Stars will open up or Queen's Quest will disband and they'll make like a proper main unit that will just be like unaffiliated but all kind of be on the same terms. Um, but I don't know if they're gonna do that anymore because I feel like with Konami coming back, that means God's Eye is kind of reinforced. It's mainly just Queen's Quest that doesn't have like anything going for it at all right now.
Yeah.
I don't even think any of
So
them are on the Buntai show yet.
not yet. But
Not
we
a single
we we
Queen's Quest one.
gotta speed ourselves up, sadly,
My bad.
because we still have our upload limit on the length of the
Oh
show.
shit, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I do want to say that I am very happy Suzu was out of the shadow of Julia because seeing her here, like not standing down against prominence, was probably the best she's felt since the GP win. Like her just standing toe to toe with Risa Sarah was like, okay, yeah, I remember why she was such a prized asset for a long time.
Mm.
Because yeah, she definitely is kind of benefits a lot from having this kind of feud and getting to just say, hey, I am. You don't mess with me. So I
That
thought
should
that was
also
a
be
good
just like
visual for
a
her.
great match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Um, our next match then was or no, it wasn't. It was Momo Watanabe beating Ami Sore, Hazuki, and Xena in a four-way match. Momo pinned Ami after 8 minutes. This was fun. This is
I
really
I,
really well done.
I actually love this.
Yeah. Xena once per show, Xena is guaranteed to pull out one of the coolest things you've ever seen. Like she is just insane. Um, her chops are
bro,
crazy. They did a whole
I
section in this match about her chops,
bro,
and I
I
was like, they're
love that
so
this
good.
was 8 minutes long, and I like, I imagine that before the match, they're like, "Okay, what do you want to do?" And Zena's like, "Well, why just chop you guys for like 3 of the 8 minutes?" And they're like,
There was an
"Okay,
extended chop
sure. I mean,
sequence.
why not?" It was so, but it made Xena look so sick because everybody
Mhm,
would stand up to challenge her, and she's like, "Nah, this is the one place where you will never beat me," and
mhm.
it's in the chops because she does lucha chops, which are so much more killer than regular chops. Um, and yeah, like that was such a fun point to the point where like Hazuki and Momo were like, you know what, we need to beat these fuckers up. We need to unite and beat these fuckers up. I am tired of getting chopped because obviously Ami was doing some chops too because that's also something she does. Um, yeah, I was the second best match on the. Well,
Holy shit! There's no way.
okay, well there were two matches at the end that count. I count as one, but this would technically be
Oh,
the
interesting.
third best match
Okay,
of the
I'm
show.
interested now. Momo getting the clean win is good because no
Yes.
interference or anything. Um,
Well, kind of. She
yeah,
used the bat, but yeah,
yeah, but that's fair.
that's my mom.
The next match then, which I'm very interested now in your thoughts on.
Mm.
The eye contact team of Mayu and Hanan went to a 20-minute time limit draw with Suri and Julia, who did the full ALK entrance. Um, this
This
was
went 20? That's why it
yeah,
felt so long. Okay, I thought it went 15. I was like, Jesus, this
20
was
minutes.
the longest 15 minutes of my life. It makes sense why it was long. Okay.
They built this fully around Hanan, which is
Yes.
incredible. And I think Julia gave her a lot. Again, Julia didn't lose because that's not what she does, but I thought she gave her a lot to really put the spotlight on Hanan, which is good because Julia and Mayu can sometimes overindulge, but their part
Mm.
here was so short that it kind of didn't go overboard. It was just enjoyable. And then the rest was kind of Hanan getting the crap beat out of her, which is always pretty fun.
See, this was a rare instance where I kind of wanted a bit more Mayu Julia, which is rare because obviously I love Hanan. But I was kind of like, okay, like, well, because so much of Hanan's thing is getting beat down and then making the comeback.
Mhm.
Um, and while that worked, not only did I feel this match was very long, at the 20-minute time limit, but I also felt like it was a bit too much of just Julia whooping her for so long. And then I was like, okay, well, Maya's gonna get a big hot tag, then Hanan's gonna come in, she's gonna do a lot. And I was like, oh, there wasn't really a Mayu hot tag. She just got beat up, and then like the last 3 minutes were really cool. Um, which I think, it's a testament. Hanan's a great seller. I didn't think that the her selling was bad by any means. But I did feel like, damn, this is still just A-OK, just beating the fuck out of her. Okay, we're here. That's cool. And then obviously the last minute I was really into, which is just I think that's just a Julia draw thing. I think that's where my like the lowering of my enjoyment came from is just like the typical Julia draw stuff. Um, that I've kind of become accustomed to. I think that's probably more so where I'm just like, yeah, this was good, but it was a step below maybe what I wanted.
That's fair, I guess. I I don't know. I thought it was enjoyable, and
Oh, I thought it was enjoyable. I liked it, but
yeah, but
like,
I just think it did enough
yeah,
for Hanan that I was like into it.
mm,
It was really good for her to just keep fighting back because that's
yeah.
big thing that they always do is like you have to fight back and you have to you know endure, and she did. So I thought there was enough of that to make her look good ahead of her match with Ano.
Give me
And
Hanan versus Sari. Teach homegirl struggle.
yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, is that all on that match, or do you
Oh,
have
there was
more?
a they kept showing a shot of a fan in the crowd, and that was a very popular R&B singer in Japan.
Oh,
In
nice.
case
Okay.
anybody noticed, it's Kota Kumi, who is friends with Julia and was seeing her last match in Stardom.
Oh, that's nice. Um, so we're all here for the main event. um,
Yes.
the Aphrodite team of Utami Hayashishita and Saya Kamitani
Afro
teamed together
deity.
for man, leave me alone. They teamed together for the last time as Micah and Saya Iida got the win when Iida pinned Utami in 19 minutes with a Be a Master, or whatever it's actually called.
uh, Tasha Dena.
Yeah, maybe that's Be a
So that
Master. I don't
it's
know.
the reason I wrote it down is because there's a very specific thing that happens in the post match that ties into the finish.
Okay. This was a great tag match. I mean,
Yes.
these four all have really good chemistry. I thought the Saya Micah bits were really well done, really fluid. The Utami stuff with both wrestlers was really well done. The finishing stretch between and Utami was just so great. I mean, Iida getting all the spotlight here in the main event of Corkin, the crowd really into it. She just was in her element. And when she lariated the shit out of Utami, it was like, oh my god, that is beautiful. Um, yeah, this was a great tag match. I really really enjoyed this, and I really am going to miss Aphrodite. Like they are, wow, what a run.
They put together one of their best like tag performances.
Mhm,
Maybe not ever. Well, maybe ever. I adored their work together in this. Like it felt like they were like because sometimes Aphrodite great tag team, but sometimes it did kind of feel like they would just be two singles wrestlers getting into a
mhm,
match. Um, I feel like they perfected their like collaboration for this match, which could be seen in their tag run. The match against Momo and Natsuko was kind of like that, where you can kind of see their collaboration has gotten a lot better. But this was
mhm.
just like so good. Um, and hey, I was telling you yesterday after we got off air, um, Saya Iida in the main event, or not even the main event, in a big time tag team match in the closing stretch in Korkauen Hall. I don't know if there's anybody better at that specific that specific lineup. That like you will believe that God is a woman and her name is Saya Iida when she is wrestling in Korkauen Hall in the closing stretch of a tag team match. It is tremendous, and she did so well here. Um, Obviously, I said it last week that I think Utami really does want what's best for Ida more than like most people, like because they've just always been super close, and you could tell that after this match, and you could just tell that just in general. For us, you could tell that because they were the two that trained together, right? Like they are the Moon Children um, that Kagetsu and Hazuki trained. So like, and Saya too, but Saya was more trained by Tam and Onita, which is weird to think about.
Yes.
Um, but so it's like there was that very meaningful closing stretch where it was Utami really letting Ida do what makes Ida shine, and Utami supporting her all the way through it, and then giving her the win. I thought it was a beautiful moment.
Mhm.
I thought it was just so well done. Um, yeah.
I feel like watching this
Go ahead.
live would have had me ripping my shirt off.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that's my new thing as I go Hulk Hogan in my mind. When a match is really great, I'm ripping the shirt, brother. But yeah, like live
This is how
unspoiled.
you know Alex has gotten jacked. Is that now he just
Yeah,
rips shirts for fun?
yeah. Because yeah, I feel like watching this unspoiled would have just been insanity. Especially that finishing stretch. Because like I said, even
Mhm.
knowing the result, that one lariat Ida hit on
It still
Utami to
hits.
just
Yeah.
like fuck her up, that was insane. But watching that live and then seeing her set up for the finish would have just been something else. So yeah, I kind of wish I could have seen this one as it happened, but even after the fact, it was still incredible. And Saida was just masterful in her spot, and we've sung the praises of Iida before. If the Nanai match didn't teach people what she could do and how over she can get, I feel like this was a reminder.
Hmm.
The crowd at Corrigan was just fully behind her getting the win, and they popped big for the finish, which is kind of
That's what
really
it's
what
all
you
about.
want, is that big reaction. Um, I don't know if you noticed it. I think the crowd and even I expected her to do the Jungle Buster, because when
Mm.
she carried Utami, there was the oh, because obviously that was the move Kiona gave her.
It would have been sick if she
Kiona
hit the
was the
Jungle Buster.
first opponent of Utami.
Yes,
That would have
Jungle
been a
was Utami's
really
stepping stone,
Yeah, that would have been
famously.
such a cool callback. So when she did her own finisher, I was like, oh, okay, that's fair. But me and the crowd were like, is she gonna do the Jungle Buster?
Which,
But
to be fair,
she,
this is like this move is a ode to Jungle Kiona because uh
yeah.
like be a master is kind of a false translation. Um, what it means is uh, be in good health or be in your best
Oh,
health.
okay.
Basically, take care of yourself.
Hmm.
So when she first hit it, it was like at the peak of Jungle's issues with like surgeries and shit. And so Ida was like, Jungle, thank you for the Jungle Buster. Take care of yourself. That was kind of like the what it kind of
Yeah.
meant. And now, after the surprise bonus match, the last thing that Ida said was, "Utami, take care of yourself," and the whole crowd yelled it, and that was like a really
It's
cute
crazy.
moment. So yeah,
Um,
so that's why I wrote down that the name is was it Tashi Hadene
Katusha Dena, is that it?
Tasha
No, it's obviously
Tasha Shaha Shah Dena Tasha Dena, something like that.
okay. All right.
Take care of yourself.
Yes. So after the tag, Tommy was speaking, but then Saya got on the microphone and was like, still want to have a singles match. And Utami was like, "Man, I'm tired." You could
I
see
just got my
the
ass beat, bro.
the physical embodiment of "I am tired, bro" was Utami in that moment. But then President Okada signed off on it for a 5-minute singles match. Um, he said this on Twitter, and I feel like words couldn't describe it. If you were to tell people that this was a 5-star match or that this was like the best match of the year, they would look at you like you're insane.
Hmm.
But for what it was and everything it meant, this is one of the most memorable things that I've seen in a long time. This reminds me of the Kagetsu Veni mini match at
Yeah,
the first Hana show, where you were just so swept up in the moment. Like they could have just traded headlocks, and it was like, I this is the best shit I've ever seen. Um, they didn't trade headlocks. They were, this was clearly two people who have known each other for a long time, have teamed together, traveled together, just going, laying stuff in, just doing their best stuff, and then the finish with Saya doing the rollover into the punches was just like, you could tell that that meant so much to both of them. Because that's kind of how Joshi does it. When you're throwing those forearms, you mean it. That's your chance to get your feelings out, and that to finish the match was just incredible. So this was fantastic. It's obviously hard to say it's like the best match ever or whatever, but I think as far as wrestling making you feel things and just getting you to invest, this was second to none.
yeah. As a spreadsheet nerd, this did not. This was very difficult because I was like, I can't rate this. So I actually stole Scott's thing, where when he doesn't want to rate a match like a 5-star match like this, he just puts like a heart. So I was like, I'm gonna do that
That's
because
cute. That's
I
cute.
can't like I don't know how like like it's just I loved it, but like I don't want Saya Kamitani to be the best wrestler of the year on my sheet because that doesn't. It was 5 minutes, but like this was so good too. Like it just man, I was tearing up by the end of it. I was. I'm not afraid to say that. This was a beautiful, beautiful moment. You could tell that they were just like so happy to get this one last time.
Hmm.
Like just like from them like the early going, like Saya was just cheesing, and Utami was exhausted, but she was also very happy. Um, and then the work was just really good. Like that's the other thing is that it's like it
Yeah.
wasn't just like you know a meaningful like emotionally like they did good work for 5 minutes like just straight up like they just did really good work and yeah it did mean a lot you know what I mean um
Mm.
as a longtime Aphrodite fan it meant a lot and it was very beautiful and the forearms as the time expired Kamitani like continuing after the limit was reached and then Utami like reversing her it looking like she's gonna give her a receipt and then just like hugging her and just like laying
Oh
there
man, incredible.
that shit fucked me up I was just and the loudest fucking ovation you could ask for um it was a beautiful moment it
Mhm.
was a beautiful moment
A lot of wrestlers have tried this, especially recently in Stardom with all the departures, and none of them have really made it click like this. You know,
no
this is very reminiscent of the AJW kind of retirements where you could like everybody like really felt it.
yeah
Obviously there's been other ones since then that have kind of been similar, but I don't think anybody in Stardom has ever managed to capture that emotion quite like these two did, which is saying a lot,
especially
you know.
considering neither of them are retiring
Yeah, like that's
Like, they
the
could
weird
tag
thing.
together, like, a year from
Yeah.
now, realistically, if
'Cause a
certain
lot
things
of
end
this
up happening.
I've just been like, dude, I'm gonna see them wrestle in 2 weeks. Like it's fine. But with
Yeah.
this, I was genuinely like, okay, this is something. Um, and you know, that's really what wrestling
To be
is
fair,
for.
that's the Aphrodite MO, you know what I mean? Like, look
Yeah.
at that cage match, man, like, a lot of for me, building up to that cage match, I was like, "The story's cool," but I also am like, I don't know how well it's being, played out, and then the cage match completely killed any doubt I had because like, Aphrodite is just such are just such they're so good at, like, making you feel shit. You know what I mean? Like they're tremendous at it. Especially with each other. I think that is probably the biggest sadness coming out of, the Marigold stuff is that Sai and Utami aren't going to be uh that dream team anymore. That dynamic duo that can really just like I just said I teared these two wrestlers without ever retiring or passing away like outside of those instances have made me cry more than like most wrestlers ever you know what I mean like that's insane I'm a grown
Yeah.
man and these motherfuckers like they just get it man they're
You get
tremendous
kicked out of bars and shit, you know, you living the life.
yeah I'd be
Um,
moshing sometimes man I'm hardcore but I'd be crying
Crazy. Yeah, no, I do agree though. This was exceptional. And you know the visual of Tammy like leaving Cork and with the crowd chanting her name was incredible.
Hmm.
Um, Very much a defining moment in Stardom. You know, because Tammy hasn't been here for forever, but what a run she had. You know, seeing
I
this kind of franchise player walk out the door was such an incredible feeling.
I mean I we started watching around the same time. But
Mhm.
the first show I watched of Stardom was the show that featured her second match. So, like, this is like a end of an era type shit, you know what I mean? Like, really? Because, like, I started watching wrestling when Utami started being not watching wrestling. I started watching Stardom when Utami started wrestling in Stardom. And, like, this is weird now. This is uh uncharted waters for me is a new Tommy-less Stardom. Obviously, we got Marigold, and I'm super excited for that. Uh, but yeah, it's weird, but it was a beautiful beautiful way to send her off for sure.
I don't want to ignore kind of everything and this match, but I feel like we should probably keep going just to
Yeah, no,
finish
it's
up
fine.
before everything goes wrong. I feel like my microphone is on odd. Let me fix things.
You sound fine, but go ahead.
Okay, that feels better. Um, um, so yeah, that was that show. Very
Hmm.
perfect ending. Great day really for all of us because that day they uploaded the Sendai Girls match that everybody was waiting for. So
Yes,
very fun day for
two
us as
great
Joshi
tag
fans.
team tag matches right there.
Mhm. That's yeah, that's true. Tag team wrestling. Over strong. we've kind of always been big proponents of is tag stuff.
Yes.
Um,
Oh
there are
wait,
two other
that's
shows
crazy.
this.
Actually, the day before was also like the best men's match in Puro like of the year so far, or one of them. Not literally
What
the best,
what
but one
was
of
it?
them. It was Keno Kaito, which was like the ultimate match between the two of them. It was tremendous.
I will
It was
take
like
your
a
word
top.
for it.
It was like a top 5 men's match. Maybe not the top, but let's move on.
Um, yeah, as I was saying, there was two other shows this past weekend. Neither of them is up because they've only just got the Korkauen up on Stardom World. Um, but we can kind of go through the results. Maybe I don't think any of them were that important, but we'll just jump through it.
Mm.
The one on April 13th was Stardom in Numazu, the multi-purpose hall. They did 335 fans there. In the opener, Lady C beat Rana Yagami, so it's probably good that this show didn't go up. Just, that's mean, but
Mm.
God.
You know what? She went and trained with Tajiri, and the only thing she learned was a move that he doesn't do. She learned a
Nice.
triangle uh choke, and well, I think he does it, but like it's not a Tajiri move by any means.
Yeah, but she's got longer legs, so it
It's
works.
true.
Um,
It does look pretty
I don't know
killer
if-
in the picture.
yeah, it does. It does look good. Um, I'm trying to multitask now because I got a football match that's happening.
Ay, Dios mío, you and your football.
No, there's just so many matches. One of the players is called Micah though.
I
Micah
do know that
Hamano. Yeah.
you'll be like, man, Micah ain't ready. I was like, damn, I thought you were rocking with her. That's crazy.
Somebody
Uh,
was like very ready to get mad at me until they read the reply once and was like, "Oh, I see." Um,
yeah.
yeah, she's a young player. I don't know if she'll ever kind of good, but she's very tricky as a dribbler.
What's her
Um,
what's her position?
she's a winger basically.
Mm, okay,
You kind of don't have a position under Emma Hayes because she will just play you anywhere she wants, but she's also
gotcha.
leaving in a month's time, so that doesn't matter.
So we'll see what her
Um,
position is.
yeah, we'll learn under the next manager. So it's
Yeah.
is that it? Is this the one? Maybe. Sorry, I'm the
Would
one
you like me?
rushing you, and now I'm like,
Yeah. Would you like me to say the next match?
no, it's okay.
Okay.
Fujian Death beat Rian in 4 minutes with a backwards roll up.
The O'Connor roll.
Sure. What? Yeah, that's a match.
Crazy that Yoniyama's still getting wins here. Like we thought that
Yeah,
she was
I
gone and
I thought
she's
she
just
was
winning.
gone. Yeah. Oh, maybe she like committed to Stardom, and they said, okay, we'll let you win now.
Mm.
Um, After that, then Saki Kashima, she win? Yes, she did. Okay. Saki Kashima, Amisori, and Suri beat Yuna Mizumori, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara. Saki pinned Kurara in 9 minutes with a body press. So maybe she was like thrown
Oh,
in
wait.
front
Yeah,
of
I
her.
imagine somebody got beat up and wait. Hold on. Why does it say Mariah? Hold on. I feel like everything with God's Eye is like, yeah, we're fucked without Mariah. Like that's been like the branding of God's Eye is like everything that has to do with God. Like even this description of the match is like with Mariah out, God's Eye needed to restart.
It's
I was like,
crazy.
damn, I would have thought you would want to not mention her anymore and not say they're kind of fucked without their number 2. Um, yeah, so it appears as though Shuri like was the one who really beat up the youngins, and then
Mm-hmm.
Saki won.
It's
That's why
incredible.
I'm grasping from this.
It's pure Saki core, to be fair.
Mm.
After that, then Suzuki, Mei Sarah, Saya Kamitani, and Miyu Amasaki beat Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki, Koguma, and Momokogo. And Mei Sarah got the win for her team over Momokogo with the Meteor Dragon, which is a crazy name.
It
Um,
is a move. Oh, it's
there's-
her submission.
yes, I remember that. The match after that was the White Circle, okay. So Xena, Wakasukiyama, and Maika beating Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Rocca when Xena got the win over Rocca with a Samsung clutch in 11 minutes. That is
A
nasty
what
business.
clutch?
Samsung clutch, I swear to God.
We'll have to check that out. It's not there's no pictures of it, so we'll have to see what
Yeah.
that's all about. But yeah, Cool for Xena. Unfortunate
After
for
that,
Rocco.
yeah, after that, Momo and Micah talked shit and were like, yeah, I'm gonna challenge you. Momo was like, yeah, we're gonna do a preliminary match, and you're gonna accept my challenge now, and stuff like that. We then had
The main event.
Hanan and Saida beat Tam Nakano and Natsupoi.
Yeah,
Really? Hanan beat
17.
Poi in 15 minutes with a 17. Wow, I
No,
didn't know that.
I thought went to a draw and they let Wingori like close the show. That's because
Yeah,
I just saw the pictures of like Wingori like at the end of the show. I did not know that Hanan beat Natsupoi. Uh
yeah, I didn't know that either. That's crazy.
yeah, I mean good for her. Good for Wingori. This is the one match from like this stint of shows that I haven't gotten to see that I really want to see. Because
Yes,
I imagine it was good because Wingori is just operating on a different fucking level right now.
Natsupoi is awesome.
And Natsupo's was great, and Tam's been doing like good work, like I said. So like I imagine this was quite good. So I'm excited to check it out. But yeah, 17.
And that was that show. So Hanan's getting a big push here out of the title match. We're gonna have an
You know, it's
interesting
because
time
it's
previewing that.
because Poi got the extensions in, man. Those nerf her every time.
It's true. She's been taking some fall lately. It's not good for us poi
The extensions also
maniacs.
kind of look a bit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm
Yeah.
not going to criticize her hair.
The next match was, or the next show was Stardom and Hamamatsu 2024. It was on April 14th. It did 608 fans for this, a sellout crowd
Damn.
for this card. In the opener, Saki Kashima beat Rian and Miyu Amasaki. Saki pinned Rian in 6 minutes after a tensei from Amasaki. So she stole the pin again. We love Saki Kashima.
Yeah.
The team of Saya
You good?
Iida, Momo Kogo,
Yep.
and Unanami.
That is
Who's that?
Hanan.
Hanan, okay. They beat Natsupoi, Unimon, and Aya Sakura when Hanan once again got the win, this time over Aya Sakura in 9.5 minutes with a blockbuster hold. He then had Tam Nakano and Sayaka Kurara beat Rina and Fukigen Death. Tam rolled up Death with the Dodon Tam, and I think that
Wait, what?
marks one of Sayaka's first wins.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
She didn't roll
Okay.
her up. That the Dodon Tam's the uh
Is that not a
Looking
roll up?
lighter. It's looking lighter. The Jaded
Oh, right. Okay. Yes. All right.
she got from Taguchi.
I see. Um, we then had Mayu Utani, Hazuki, and Koguma beating Suri, Amisore, and Rana Yagami. Koguma got the win with a combined neckbreaker drop in 12.5 minutes. It doesn't say over who. I'm going to assume Rana.
It was over
Koguma's
Rana.
getting
Yeah.
some wins. That's kind of
They're
interesting.
they're building to a trios match it seems
Oh,
because
yes. I remember
they're
that
back
now.
to STC. But also I think Koguma and Hazuki might challenge for the tag belts uh, eventually. They might win them.
Okay.
Honestly, I think Koguma gets some gold this year, either high speed or
Probably.
tag team.
Yeah, she's got momentum. They are
Yeah,
kind of getting behind her. We then
more
had
artists
in
obviously. Go on.
we had Risa Sera, Kurumi Hiragi, Mochi
Mochi.
Natsumi, and Akane Fujita beat Suzu Suzuki, Mei Sera, Saya Kamitani, and Lady C. Hiragi Kurumi got the win for her team when she pinned Lady C in 15 minutes with a diving body press.
Wait,
Um,
who got the win? It was Kurumi.
Kurumi, yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that they are just doing a main unit, and they're just kind of making
Yeah.
Suzu and Sarah aligned with Queen's Quest because Queen's Quest doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's cool. I'm rocking with that. I mean, it's a shame that Queen's Quest is probably gonna die, but you know,
Kurumi threatened that she's going to make somebody flat. So that's
flatten them.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they all talked shit afterwards. So that
cool.
was our main. No, not our main event. Maika, Xena, and Waka Tsukiyama lost to Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Rocca when Momo pinned Xena to get revenge from the show the day before in 16 minutes with a Peach Sunrise. So,
Mm.
way to tie, get the win there. And
Oh
once
man, you
again,
know what would be a killer finish actually?
what-
Momo finally getting the Peach Thunder on Micah and getting a 10 count. like on a chair or something.
That
She
would
hasn't
be
hit the
pretty
Peach
chill.
Thunder in like a year or
Years.
so. It feels
Yeah,
like yeah,
forever.
2 years. Like I don't even know if she hit it at all in the 5-star last year. I'd have to go back and check, but
Mm, I don't think so.
she's been going with Peach Sunrise or she's been losing. Like that's those are her
Yeah,
options right now.
that's it.
So
Um, yeah, Micah and Momo talked again after the match to build to their title match.
yes, they did.
It's a good thing we recorded part two today because they had announced the cards for this weekend
Yes,
earlier this morning, and they also announced that these shows will be streamed live on Stardom World. So yeah, we
it's a
actually will
thing.
have to see them, have to watch them.
Yeah.
Um,
Have to watch them.
yeah, they also confirmed the stipulation for Momo versus Micah is a three falls match with a different
3
stipulation.
stages of hell.
Yeah. So the cards for this Saturday are or this weekend are as follows. On April 20th in the Kobe Sunbo Hall, we have Suzu Suzuki and Mei Seira taking on Aya Sakura and Sayaka Karara. So it's a pretty strong win for our tag champions, I would assume.
Yeah, probably. I mean, well,
Um,
not probably, definitely. I don't know why I said it like that.
yeah, I'm not sure. We have Amisore, Lady C, Natsupoi, and
Uh,
Rian going at it in a four-way match. This is probably
uh,
Natsupoi finally getting a win back after dropping some falls lately.
yeah, and all the stars are here. She's really getting a big one.
Yeah. We have the return of the three-way tag battles. This time it's a three-way trios match when
Mm.
Siri, Saki Kashima, and Rani Yagami of God's Eye take on Saya Kamitani, Azumi, and Miyu Amasaki of Queen's Quest, and the team of Hazuki, Saya Iida, and Momo Kogo of Stars. Um, this could go to anyone really. Saki could continue her pin stealing. QQ might re-emerge with a win, or Hazuki and Saida could get a win. It's kind of up in the air.
Yeah, anyone. Yeah,
Hmm.
this is anybody's game actually, because it's all pretty evenly matched.
Yeah.
I feel like Queen's Quest probably has the strongest weaker, the strongest anchor of the three,
Hmm.
but you never really know. Um, they could run with a lot of things.
That's true. Um, the next match is a preview of the white belt match. It is Saori Ano, Tam Nakano, and Yuna Mizumori versus Mayu Iwatani, Hanan, and Koguma.
Mm.
Um, I mean, Hanan has got two over on Kozan. I wonder if Ano gets the win for her team here to just be like, hey, you gotta get put back in your place.
Yeah, I could see an Ano over Koguma here. Um, Yuna does look very pinnable though. And I feel like putting Hanan over as much as possible to like make it like, oh, maybe this isn't an upset if it happens, and then having her lose makes sense. So I could see Hanan and Stars winning over Yuna, but I don't disagree with your logic that Seriano might want to get a win. You know, since she hasn't really gotten any over Hanan and Stars, or Cosmic Angels hasn't really gotten any over Stars lately.
Yeah, because Anna wasn't there to
Mm,
kind of
yeah,
combat them last weekend, and when she was there, she was facing her own faction. So this is her first
mm,
chance to kind of get one over on them.
yeah.
Um, the main event
I
then
think
is
that
also
I think Stars wins, but let's go.
okay. The main event is also a preview tag. It's Micah, Mina Shirakawa, Xena, Waka, and Hanako versus Natsuko, Momo, Starlight Kid, Ruaka, and Fukiga Death. So
That's yawn. That's my bad.
that's crazy. That is
That
nasty.
wasn't even on purpose. I just actually had to yawn, but yeah,
Uh,
I'm not. That's not my match personally.
no, that could go either way as well because both teams have a bunch of people who can take pins
Yeah. Um. Wait, is this just a straight up, or is it an elimination?
straight up.
Mm. Yeah. Wait. No. It's best of three, no touch rule.
What?
That's what it says. That's the
Where?
description of the match. Right above it. So where it says 10-man tag, 6-man tag, 3-way, 4-way, it says
Do they
10-man
have
tag, best of
different
three, no touch rule.
steps here? Because I'm on the news part. So does it say
I'm
something
on the yeah, I'm
different?
on the schedule part.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I think
Okay.
this might be best of three for some reason because three stages of hell. Haha. Like I don't.
Yeah, 3 matches. No touch rule probably means lucha tags.
Yes, it's lucha tags.
Okay, and then yeah, 3 best of 3.
Which, to be fair, Starlight Kid does a great job in lucha tags like that, so that'll
That's
be
true.
cool. Um, Otherwise, it's like,
That's an
so does
interesting
so does Death.
Taroism to bring in, is the no touch tags.
Which, I mean, they did that occasionally, under
Yeah.
under Ogawa, Jesus. But yeah, so it'll be interesting. I think that makes this match a little bit more interesting, just generally.
Definitely. Seeing
But
it live as well should be fun.
yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch it live though. But
The option is there for people, so that's
I think I
important.
think Oedo wins this because Momo is like the one who's getting insane momentum. Uh,
Mm,
and I think this kind of Oedo MO is to like rattle the baby faces and like make them feel in doubt. So
mhm.
I think Momo has to win here. Maybe putting like a Mina, like for the last fall. Maybe not, but like I feel like that would make sense. Like because she keeps kind of beating more impressive people like every week,
Yeah.
pretty much. I mean, she already pinned Shuri. That's like the most impressive you can get. But so I could see like Momo getting a fall over Mina uh, in the last fall and Oedo winning the match.
Well, maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
The next show then is the next day on the 21st in the Edion
Mm,
Osaka Arena number 2. Um, the Where did it go? Oh, yes, the opener is an 8-woman tag. It's Tam Nakano, Yuna Mizumori, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara against Saya Kamitani, Azumi, Lady C, and Miyo Masaki.
I
So that feels
wonder
like a
who
Queen's
will
Quest win.
win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Queen's Quest getting the mojo back. We like to see it. Um, we have
We need
Saki
it.
Kashima versus Iida versus Rian. They like these Saki Kashima 3 ways, I
Oh yeah,
guess.
Ida's about to beat the fuck out of Rihanna and Sadgashima's taking the win.
Incredible, really. Is Iida gonna get any follow up on pinning Utami, or like what's the
uh,
deal there?
if Hanan wins the wipeout, which is the biggest if imaginable, I imagine Ida's a challenger. Um,
Good shout. Good shout.
I'd love a
Um,
Sakikashima. I'd love a high speed Ida challenge.
mm,
Just because I feel like she doesn't run that fast, but like she has a good sprint. Near to
yeah,
Sakikashima, so it's like it doesn't really matter. Uh, I would love to see that, but I'm doubtful that happens.
that's fair. We then have Hazuki Koguma and Momo Kogo taking on Siri, Amisore, and Rana Yagami. Um, that's probably stars.
Yeah, 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 probably. Ooh, you know what? If they do want to run Crazy Star versus FWC at Buntai, Hazuki and Koguma over God's Eye, and then they challenge later in the night, makes sense.
Hmm, very true.
Yep.
We have Mina Shirakawa, Xena, Wakasuyama, and Hanako taking on Natsuko Tora, Starlight Kid, Rocka, and Fukigen Death. ENXSV probably win there if Ueda Tai wins the night before.
Yeah, yeah, I could see like Xeno over Fukigen or something like that.
Hmm, definitely. We then have a Buntai preview special tag. It's Maika, Soriano, and Mai Utani versus Momo Watanabe, Hanan, and Natsupoi.
I wonder
I
who
could see,
will win, the person who is booked in a high-profile match or the other one.
yeah, I could see Maika over Poi, um, especially if Momo's getting all of the other wins. But they could do Maika here.
Yeah, yeah, it is kind of hard otherwise because like I don't think they want to put Mayu over Natsupoi because Mayu's already going over uh she's going
Sorry.
over Saori. I
Yeah.
don't think Anna over Natsupoi. They could do that, but that's definitely a championship match in a month or
Yeah.
two. Uh, so maybe they do that and like they kind of build to Natsupoi, like getting her groove back because she's
Hmm.
losing a lot and beating Ano. So yeah, it's either Ano or Maika over Poi. It feels like the obvious.
All right. We then have a Goddess of Stardom championship match. Suzu Suzuki and Mei Seira defend against Risa Sera and Karumi Hiragi of Prominence.
This match
I
happened
would.
last year.
Yes, it did.
I wonder
The
how I
tag
felt about it.
league. But I would assume that Suzu and Mei retain.
definitely. First defense. I'm happy they got this with the first defense, because it obviously Promise ain't gonna win, and
Yeah.
that's okay. But I like that they gave it to them instead of like an FWC where it's like, oh, I want either team to
Mhm.
be able to win. Uh, this is okay that Promise ain't winning this, and if they do, it'll be a big shock, and I think that's cool. Um,
Very true.
yeah, I'm
Um,
actually really excited for this match if I'm being completely honest.
yeah, I mean, again, these shows are live, and I think this is the kind of match that will be really fun to watch as it goes down, because these are four really talented wrestlers, and you know, if Haragi
Oh
or
yeah, this was the
Sarah gets the win, that's
best.
a big pop.
This was the best match of the tournament last year. Come to think of it, because that tournament was dog shit. Yeah, because everybody
But
got
that
injured and it wasn't good. But yeah,
that appears to be that.
it does.
Imagine this is probably 2.5 hours combined, so definitely just under the bar there for
Mm,
how long we can go. And I also have to watch the football, so it's crazy. The goalkeeper for the other team got sent off already, so
mm.
it's a fun time. So
Ooh,
with that,
next
it is time
week.
to close the show.
Next week we have whatever Rossi watch we got to do, and we also
Yep.
have Buntai and two Golden Week shows that are definitely not going to have a schedule to them yet, but they
No.
happen before we record the week after. So that's fun. Love that for us.
Yeah,
Um,
but the focus will definitely be on the
Buntai.
Buntai with all of the big matches and unpredictability, I would say, for the top two titles. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have a lot of fun there. But with that, it is time to close the show. So if you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Ijo.
Yep.